Do you have any? Tell us about Arun Jaitley and Mumbai. When did you first come here? Do you have a favorite Mumbai story?
Well, I've been coming to Mumbai ever since I was a child. And my initial visits were that my maternal grandmother used to live here. So once in a while I used to be here.
That's ABVP.
And I remember those days, the best way with the kind of restrictive budgets we had was to travel by the chair car of the Rajdhani Express. And we did that through the 70s. And then of course, both law and politics brought me to Mumbai at times, several times a month, so I've been fairly familiar with it. I have several memories, but a distinct one is during the emergency, just as I was released from prison, we had formed a common front of various student and youth organizations. I was the convener. And one of the first programs we held across the country was, I think, at the Azad Maidan in Mumbai. And we went across colleges of Mumbai. Suddenly, hundreds and thousands of youngsters came, students came with T-shirts with Youth for Janta written on it. There was no organization, it was just a platform. And I think if I look back, the various experiences I've had about this city, that perhaps is an era never likely to be repeated.
Having said that, Arun, I know everybody here is concerned about the state of the nation, but they're also very concerned about the state of their city, which is a bloody mess. And your party, in association with Shiv Sena, has run this city for many years. What do you think is responsible for the state of this city, which is not
frankly,
nice?
I can't claim to be highly literate on or informed on the civic management of the city.
But you've seen a decline.
I've seen a decline. I've also seen some improvements, I must say. And I think it's a far more disciplined city in terms of civic behavior compared to Delhi. And therefore, despite the fact that there is a land scarcity and the possibility of expanding Mumbai, most Indian cities, and this is a comment I made last night with a group of friends here, I've seen several cities in India in the last few years expand radically. And some of the smaller ones have done exceedingly well. The kind of expansions, the elevated roads, the flyovers, the outer ring roads, and the expansion, more land coming into the cities. Now, obviously, Mumbai has that limitation. In terms of land, it can grow in one direction itself. And the pressure because of economic activity in Mumbai, that people will travel into the city because of economic needs and economic activity in the city, is going to be there. And therefore, there is no question be able to restrict people. You can't even think in those terms. And people will have to live in Mumbai with that kind of a restriction. Now, within that framework, how do you improve the city? As I said, I am not a great student of the civic management of Mumbai, but perhaps some of the good ideas, I thought, which have been inadequately implemented, conversion of all the slums and the jhoparpattis here into more habitable areas. Now, I thought when I read those schemes on paper, those legislations,
The SRA scheme, you mean?
I thought it was a wonderful scheme. And perhaps the prospect of implementing it in order to cleanse up the city would be great. But then, unfortunately, that became an industry. And that became an industry which went into highly questionable hands. And I thought the speed has been slow, it's been somewhat inadequate. But these are all areas where Mumbai can improve. Possibility of more lung spaces, green spaces, there is an inbuilt restriction in Mumbai.
But the other inbuilt restriction in Mumbai is that your party has no choice but to be a sidekick to Shiv Sena.
Well, I think this is an expression you are using. You could use it for any small ally of a party. The political reality is if a given...
No, I will not Congress party Mamta Banerjee's sidekick in Calcutta. So, because to be sidekick, you need some stature.
No, they are kicked around in Calcutta.
But they are not sidekicks.
But that's the
just near
difference.
that.
The fact is that in any alliance polity, in a given state, you may be larger than the other ones. In another state, you may be a smaller party compared to your larger ally. Now here, if you see the whole state, we've been also growing, but I hope we could have grown much faster. Today in the legislative bodies, for instance, we have a marginally higher strength, but that's only academic. In the city, they probably are bigger than us.
But you've never filled the void left by Pramod Mahajan, because this is Pramod Mahajan's city from the BJP's point of view.
I think, you see, this is a conception which people had. He was a very dynamic person. But let me tell you, politics abhors vacuum. And therefore, when you say that in any given activity, a void has been created and so is finished, these are few of the lessons I have learned. One of the lessons I have learned is in politics, you never write obituaries. People from nowhere come back stronger ever again. And the second is, it never accepts a void. So if a particular leader goes out, either by the rule of nature or retirement or any other reason, you'll probably have people who will emerge out of that vacuum. Now, whether polity has the ability to attract the better talent or not, itself is a different area of debate.